It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show here on Football Friday, right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website, obnradio.com, and the 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And without any further delay, we'll jump right into today's episode. Well, with it being Football Friday, we got a lot of football, of course, to talk to you about. Want to give you some notice about the Black College Football College Hall of Fame. They have just released their finalists for the class of 2021 inductions, and it would include none other than former PV greats Billy Nix and Clem Daniels. This list will consist of a total of 25 finalists for the 2021 class. It includes 22 ball players and 3 coaches. So we've got our eyes, toes, fingers, and everything else crossed to hear the good news coming down the road for Billy Nix and Clem Daniels. Kansas Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Other football news of mentioning, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback sensation for the Clemson Tigers, will not be playing this week against Boston College. He tested positive for the COVID, and he will have to sit out this one, but he will be lined up in time for the Notre Dame clash next week. And speaking of the effects of COVID, Wisconsin and Nebraska has canceled their game this week, and that's just to add to many of the problems that Nebraska has been facing of late. Now the powers of be are somewhat grumbling about the association that Nebraska has with the Big Ten, and rumors have speculated that they were possibly looking at returning to the Big 12, but pride is probably going to negate that from coming to fruition. But Nebraska has been struggling, has not had the impact that they thought they would have in football in particular since joining the Big Ten. We'll keep things posted on that as that develops.
Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
We're in the middle of Football Friday, but I do have a baseball note that has really been gathering up concerns throughout the nation. Of course, we're talking about Mr. Justin Turner, third baseman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. A lot of people are really fired up about the fact that he disregarded his teammates and their families with the possibility of spreading the COVID virus since testing positive, and was pulled out of Game 6 during the World Series, in which the Dodgers went ahead to defeat the Rays. Many of you across the nation and even across baseball land have really and truly been fired up. Let us know what you're thinking about that. Give us a call at 713-570-6736 and leave your thoughts, concerns on the message line.
If you could do one thing to make an impact on the things that matter to your family, your community, and your country, wouldn't you do it? That's what voting is all about. An easy way to make a difference. Register, learn about the issues and candidates, and vote this November. Your vote helps shape the future of America. Visit www.vote411.org to get started. This is a public service announcement from Open Mic Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Gene Johnson, head football coach at Waller High School. I wanted to touch base with our friends, families, and community of our team and just give us a mid-season update. We're approaching Game 5 this year. It's late. It's almost November, so it's certainly a different year for us from that aspect. We're usually into week 8, 9, and 10 at this point, or games 8, 9, and 10. So we are approaching the halfway point, and some ups and downs. We started off with 2 losses. Played well at times, we thought, against Bryan and Tomball, and then, of course, came back in open district with 2 victories. So this 5th game to get us to the halfway point with Magnolia West is certainly a huge game and a big pivotal game that maybe we can pull our win and then give us some momentum heading into the second half of the season. We've grown so much as a team, and, I use the analogy sometimes when you watch a child grow inside your home, you don't see much growth and you don't see the changes in them, and then when aunt and uncle and grandma and grandpa come over, first things out of their mouth is, oh my, how much you're growing. And so I think that probably says a lot about our program, and we feel like we've made some great strides with our varsity team this fall, and want to see them continue to grow, but now want to see some of our stabilizing happen down at the AD and freshman level with getting kids into the right positions and teaching them and growing them. And we're just really excited about the kids and how hard they've worked. We look forward to this second half of the season and make a push to try to get into the mix of things here to earn us a playoff spot and carry some momentum into the playoffs. And we're certainly proud of the boys, but we've got much taller mountains that we want to climb moving forward. And so we ask you to continue to support the guys and encourage them and love on them. And we're going to continue to fight and try to finish this year out strong and bring home the conclusions of the kind of season that we want to have. Thanks so much for supporting the Dogs. As always, Dogs.
Big matchup on the high school circuit in Waller County, Texas, Friday night football. Sweeney will be at Royal. Royal trying to shake off a 67-0 defeat to Belleville last week. Hempstead will be at Bowling. They came off a 51-26 defeat on last week. Waller will be hosting Magnolia West for Homecoming 2020 for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs and the Mustangs of Mag West are at the top of district play, both of them at 2-0 in district play. And our TAPS game of the week will feature Northland at Rose Hill. Of course, those games can be listened to live here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. For the Rose Hill Northland game, simply dial 857-777-0004, and you can listen to Mr. Clay Nicholson as he'll give the play-by-play action on that. And as far as the Bulldogs and the Mustangs, you can listen here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, where yours truly will present that play-by-play. We want to take us a quick break right now, hear from our man, Mr. Rob Butler, and the Southland Report.
This is Rob Butler with your Southland Report. Stephen F. Austin beat Abilene Christian 35-32 at Global Life Park in Arlington. Trey Self threw for 352 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the Lumberjacks. SFA is now 3-3 on the year. They will host West Colorado State this Saturday. Now, I don't know much about the opponent, but I expect an easy win for SFA, somewhere in the neighborhood of 35-6. Abilene Christian is 0-3 this season, having lost to 2 FBS opponents and SFA. They are at Mercer this Saturday. The Mercer Bears were 4-8 last season, so they fired Coach Bobby Lamb and replaced him with Drew Cronick. Mercer is 0-2 this year. Abilene Christian is led by quarterback Peyton Mansell. I think Abilene Christian wins this game 35-34 Saturday. Central Arkansas fell 31-28 at Eastern Kentucky last Saturday. Braylon Smith threw for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead the Bears, who are now 3-4 on the year. Central Arkansas will host Missouri Western this weekend. I believe Central Arkansas wins this game 42-27 over Missouri Western. In other news, last week the rumor mill started to churn a little bit. Apparently Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin, Lamar, and Sam Houston State have all been invited to join the WAC in a bit of a reboot. Currently the WAC does not sponsor football, but at one time they did at the FBS level too. It's something to keep an eye on. Several schools from the Big Sky have been mentioned as potential new members, so stay tuned. From what I understand, this would be an FBS conference. After all the hoopla over Nick Saban testing positive for COVID a couple weeks ago, there's an even bigger story, and it comes out of Nacogdoches, Texas. SFA head coach Kobe Carthel tested positive for COVID, and he had symptoms. So, knowing he needs an interim head coach for the game against Angelo State, what did he do? He called home to his dad, Don Carthel, in Amarillo. The elder Carthel was a coaching legend at West Texas A&M for many years. The 68-year-old Carthel was literally on his John Deere tractor because it's cotton harvest season in the Panhandle. He jumped off the tractor, left it running, and told his wife to turn the tractor off because he had to get to Nacogdoches. He drove the 550 miles to East Texas and was the interim head coach as SFA beat Angelo State 31-12. It was Don Carthel's 125th win as head coach. The team presented him with a game ball in the locker room after the game. Now that's pure Texas football right there. Rob Butler, Open Mic Broadcast Network.
And we do thank you, Brother Butler, for all that you do. And what an inspirational story. Pop get off the tractor, tell his wife to shut it down. He got to go and help out his son and lead the team to victory. That's what makes football football. As Don King would say, only in America. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back and talk a little bit NFL, just a little bit. I think it's enough that it'll grab your attention. You listen to the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and Football Friday. Attention all coaches. Whatever your sport is, we want to tell your story. Dial our 24 hours, 7 days a week message line at 713-570-6736. Leave your game results, team results, and player results on our 24-hour message line, 713-570-6736. Have sports, we'll travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Join us for a daily episode of the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show Football Friday edition. Reminding you guys that you can follow me on Twitter at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is what we really need you guys to subscribe to, is at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Well, before the break, we were talking about a little bit of NFL, and it's no secret that the Houston Texans are not having the year expected and projected on paper. Now, the latest is the whispers of J.J. Watt to be traded to a quote-unquote potential contender because the window is shrinking down on J.J. Watt. And there have been speculations of some teams that he could end up going to. But my question is, do you think Watt would be worth a second-round draft? I think that's a bit high, knowing the tendencies of his injuries and how much time is actually left in the J.J. Watt window. Maybe a third-rounder, but I definitely would not consider giving up a first or second-rounder. Let us know what you think about that. You know the number, 713-570-6736. J.J. Watt, and before you guys go crazy, no, he does not need to come to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have enough to work with right now. Where would you fit him? It would disrupt the chemistry, camaraderie, and the overall productivity, in my opinion, of the Pittsburgh Steelers scheme. In fact, Pittsburgh Steelers have a huge game coming up this weekend. They'll be taking on the Baltimore Ravens. We've been taking a little survey out. Right now, it's making me nervous. 86% of you guys are saying that the Steelers should win this game. That's why they play the games. The game will be in Baltimore, but it still warrants watching. Pittsburgh Steelers 6-0 on the roll. I know the Magic Carpet Ride's not going to last forever, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Hopefully, at the end of the weekend, we'll be standing at 7-0. You are listening to the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the Mike Prince Show, Football Friday edition. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Well, I'm Dr. Mike Prince, the pastor of the Temple of Refuge Ministries located in Prairie View, Texas. I am extending a personal invitation to you to come and worship with us Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Simply dial 857-777-0000 and join us for our morning worship. In the event that you miss us live, you can always go to our on-demand center at 720-721-1558 to listen to our latest sermons and Bible studies. Temple of Refuge Ministries, where we're building the kingdom, one soul at a time. Numbers to dial again for our live sermons, 857-777-0000 and on demand, 720-721-1558. Be blessed. And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show, Football Friday edition. I want to encourage you guys right now to become a listening partner with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. All you need to do is go to the website at obnradio.com. Click on the donation button, which will lead you right to PayPal. You can make a safe, secure, and much-needed donation to help us carry out the mission here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. As we mentioned, big weekend. Texas A&M Aggies will be hosting the Arkansas Razorbacks. No Southwestern Conference matchup. Right now, the Aggies are flying high, number 11th ranked, depending on whose poll you're looking at. And Arkansas, a much improved team. This game truly has my attention for a couple of factors. This is not the old Arkansas Razorbacks that has been the whipping toy for the rest of the SEC. There is a change in the air. There is a change in the culture at Razorback Country. It's going to be very interesting to see how these two finish up on the gridiron. Our little poll has you guys picking Texas A&M to win this one by 67% to 33%. We shall see. And, of course, the other partner of the SEC track that these teams are on, the Missouri Tigers, will be taking on the Florida Gators. Now, the poll that we've taken does not give the Missouri Tigers a snowball's chance of beating Florida. Florida's number 9 ranked in the country. But I want to put this side note. Florida is coming off of a week where they were not able to compete because of COVID-19 concerns. They might be a bit discombobulated, and the way things have been going since the 2020 kickoff, who knows, it might be enough atmosphere mojo for the Tigers to pull off yet another upset. That's why they play the games. We'll definitely keep you in tune with those results as they develop. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show for our latest tweets and updates throughout the Open Mic Broadcast Network. SWAC Basketball will be having their virtual basketball media day November 3rd, Election Day. So you got two things that you need to do. You need to make sure that you get out to vote and make sure that you tune in for the SWAC Media Day basketball coverage. We'll keep you posted on the release times for that, but it should be very interesting. You got Mo Williams with Alabama State making his debut. That should be interesting to hear what he has to say. And, of course, your other SWAC head basketball coaches on the men and the women's side of things. So be sure to mark your calendars for November 3rd. In SWAC baseball news, the Alabama A&M Bulldogs have hired Elliott Jones to lead the charge for the Bulldogs come 2021 baseball campaign. You can actually go back and listen to our interview with Coach Jones that we had on our Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline this past week. A lot of good things to talk about as baseball will soon be starting up. And as we've been talking about the basketball seasons, the football seasons, the baseball seasons, which normally would be having fall ball, not having fall ball right now, due, of course, to the COVID concerns. But it's really getting to the point now to where all SWAC baseball programs are going to have to do an upgrade to keep the SWAC mojo working. We'll be breaking down the baseball programs from our bird's eye view, and then an overall philosophy that I've been somewhat holding on to for quite some time. We'll break that down later on next week. Don't forget, you can always leave your questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns on our 24-hour message line at 713-570-6736. We welcome them. We enjoy them. And it helps us to stay on the grind to do what it is that we do. A lot of you guys, you like to leave the private messages, and we respect that. But just keep making sure that you leave your messages. 713-570-6736. I am going to exit stage left. I want to remind you guys about our live football game coverages for tonight. Both of them 7 p.m. kickoff times. Rose Hill will be hosting Northland, and the Waller Bulldogs will be hosting Magnolia West. My time is far spent, and I've got to go. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, and as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.